Good morning, besties and explorers. I hope you're all doing absolutely fabulously. I have a very special episode of Come Hither with Heather today. Something is going down in Virginia City, and in a moment I'm going to have Karen from Australia, Doof Paranormal, explain a little bit more about what's happening in Virginia City. Then I've got a couple of guests who will be panelists throughout the weekend. That will come and speak to you a little bit more about what's happening. I would like to acknowledge that I'm live streaming on Kaurna land. I pay my respects to the Kaurna people who are the traditional custodians of the Adelaide Plains. I pay my respects to elders past, present and future. And I acknowledge that the land and sovereignty was never ceded. Without any further ado, because we are on a time constraint, so I won't babble too much if I can help it, but I'm going to quickly introduce you to Karen. Most of you know Karen anyway. I'm going to quickly introduce you to Karen, and she's going to let you know what's happening briefly before I introduce the guests in turn. Good morning, Karen, and welcome in. Thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Heather. Thanks.
So tell me, all this hype, what is going down in Virginia City?
I've put together an event for the 12th to the 14th of July this year, and invited some really wonderful people to come along and give some talks. And it's primarily, it is called the Magical History Weekend, and that's why, because history. It's all about the history of Virginia City and promoting Virginia City, so people realise there's a lot more to it than ghosts, and it's just going to be a fun weekend. It's going to be an experience where they can learn heaps about the real history of Virginia City and why it's so wonderful.
Absolutely amazing. And I've got some of your guests here with me, as I've said earlier. So I've got MaryLynn from Mike and MaryLynn.
MaryLynn.
No, MaryLynn, sorry.
It's all right. Gilligan's Island.
You know, when you wrote MaryLynn, I thought that was a typo. The L was a typo. And I thought it was Marianne. Like, my apologies. I'm going to be apologising for the next hour. We've got MaryLynn from PSYDkicks Paranormal. Good morning, MaryLynn. How are you? Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you here. I'm quite honored, actually. So tell us a little bit more about yourselves and PSYDkicks Paranormal.
So I am a psychic medium. I've had ability since I was about 4 years old, and it's something that just continue to develop. I met my partner, Mike. He is a comedian. And we met in Las Vegas about 8 years ago. And probably just a couple months ago, we decided, hey, let's form our team and see what we can come up with. And here we are.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you very much. And I do apologize, chat. I'm not ignoring you. I will converse with you as time, but I'm just so focused on the guests at the moment. And we don't have a lot of time. Now, next we have, is Tyler in? Oh, yes, we do have Tyler. Now,
Taylor.
Oh, my God. Okay. I think I need a quick nap.
It is early here, folks, 5:30 in the morning. So
I haven't got my glasses on either. I can't even read what I've written. So I've got Taylor, who Karen describes as a true friend, who works in the 4th Ward Schools and Sutro Tunnel. Welcome in, Taylor. Thank you for joining us. It's a pleasure to have you.
Oh, hello from beautiful Virginia City.
Oh, so we're from Virginia City. Tell me a little bit more about yourself.
Yeah, so as you mentioned, I work at the historic 4th Ward School Museum. It's a beautiful, gorgeous historic building from 1876 here in Virginia City, and it's dedicated to sharing with folks the history of Virginia City. And I also work at the historic Sutro Tunnel, which is a drainage adit tunnel connected underground to the mines of Virginia City. So that's a historic site and ghost town literally connected to Virginia City as well.
Oh wow, that's amazing. Do you know I don't know what it's like in America, but in Australia we have a drain culture. We have people who specifically explore drains, and that would be right up their alley.
This is a
Anyway,
big one. It's a 4-mile long drain. Yeah.
Yeah, you can put a horse and buggy in this one, Heather. Drains out.
oh,
You can
really? Oh my
you could leave Virginia City in a horse and buggy and be in Dayton. It takes you right down. It was they transport lots of stuff through the tunnel, and it drained the water out of all the mines as well.
Oh, okay. So it wasn't like a secret.
No.
It wasn't a secret tunnel.
No.
No. Okay.
No.
Okay. Cool.
You
That's
need to go to
fantastic.
Virginia City one day. We'll get you there. In my
We'll
luggage, in my suitcase.
You might be the only way I'll get there. As long as I can get past customs, but I won't even go there.
No,
This is
don't go
a show. And finally, we have one of Karen's wonderful sidekicks, Enzo. I got that right. I've got to get that right.
Not Enzo, right? There you go.
Apparently, Enzo, well, I'm going to introduce you to Enzo. Apparently, Enzo, you're the eye candy for the event. Tell us a little bit.
I am the eye candy and the comic relief, I think. Although there is a professional, they'll be working in a different capacity for that weekend.
Yeah, so tell us a little bit more about yourself, Enzo.
I was born at a very young age. And no, my spiel is that I enjoy all things paranormal. I'm a classical student of Art Bell, listening to all those late night programs of all the weird. I specialize in UFO kind of stuff, but I'm exploring all the other avenues because I think they're.
Oh,
No.
Oh,
what have you
shit.
done? Enzo, come back.
Sorry, I was trying to.
Went on an exploration.
I said the magic word UFO. You apparently
No.
can't say that around here. What I was going to say is I like exploring all of the different avenues of the paranormal, ghosts and cryptids as well, where I kind of think they're all kind of related. So I can speak to most of it. So I certainly don't think that I'm an expert in any of it, but I can make it sound good.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. Now, Karen, there are some other panelists who couldn't make it today. Do you want to just briefly talk about them?
Yes, Mum. Who'd think I'd talk too much? There's Dustin Parry coming along, and a lot of you might know him if you ever watched the original Ghost Hunters on, I can't remember what channel they were on at the time, Sci-Fi or something. He's a lovely boy. There's Janice Oberding, who I'm hoping a lot of you might be familiar with from talking to me on my channel, or even just know who she is. She's an author. Taylor certainly knows who Janice is. And she's written a ton of books about Nevada, both haunted Nevada and just Nevada history in itself. So she'll be coming along. And a gentleman named Dave Schrader, who is, he's been in the paranormal field for many a moon. He's been responsible for a lot of television shows going to air back in the day, production, that sort of thing. He's got a podcast. He's an author. So he's got like TV personality. He's been on Discovery and Sci-Fi and all that sort of thing. And we've got, who am I missing? Oh, CJ. CJ's a new addition. She actually approached me to just have a table up, a merchant's table. But as it turns out, when I looked at her before I said yes, I had a look at who she was and I went, okay, she's very interesting. She lives in Reno and she's an author, a painter, photographer, and she's into the paranormal side of things, of course. But yes, most everybody on the panel, on the guests, have got a paranormal background or have something to do with paranormal, but not Taylor, not Enzo. But that's not, even though that we've all got paranormal interests. That's not what the event is about, but it's sort of connected in a way because of how important getting the truth about a location is. So yeah, so I think that's it. I think I've covered everybody, and of course Mike, who's not quite here yet, but he's going to pop in later on.
Just out of interest, MaryLynn, have you investigated Virginia City yourself?
I have not. I actually went there a couple of years ago just to visit, but did not get to experience the investigations. So I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, awesome, awesome. Now, Taylor, do you want to give me a brief history? Do you know a brief history of Virginia City?
Certainly. So the traditional story is basically that in 1859, one of the world's largest discovery of silver, even to this date, was discovered in 1859, right here in Virginia City and the surrounding communities. It caused a huge silver rush, what they called the rush to Washoe. That's you'll see that word pop up in Virginia City from time to time. And the rush to Washoe brought thousands and thousands and thousands of people to our little mountain top just outside of Carson City and Reno in Nevada. It was akin to the more famous California gold rush at the time. There was gold and silver discovered in mass quantities. Huge dynasties and fortunes sprung from this discovery, such as the Hearst family fortune. You may know them from William Randolph Hearst fame, Hearst Castle fame. That was started right here in Virginia City, that fortune. The Mackey family, the Bonanza Kings. Much of San Francisco was built with wealth coming out of this discovery. And so it was the most major metropolitan city at its time in the 1860s and 1870s, larger than Los Angeles at the time, larger than San Francisco for a time. Huge feats of innovation and lots of discoveries, but it also did lead to lots of accidents and deaths. And it is now known as, today, our biggest trade is tourism, and specifically paranormal tourism. Historic tourism and paranormal tourism are huge to us here. And that's now our major export to the world.
Wow, what a fascinating story. We have a town in Australia similar to that, which is Bendigo and Broken Hill. Two towns that built their wealth on gold. At the time, during the height of the gold rush, the town was so opulent. It was probably more opulent than our major capital cities. But since then, unemployment and, other issues, came about and it looks just tired and run down. You've got these tired and run down towns with gorgeous buildings that were just a testament to the past. Anyway, thank you very much for that. Now, I'm going to go back to Karen. As the organizer of the event, what prompted you to get this event up and running? And what are you hoping that people would get out of this?
Out of the event?
Out of the event, yes.
Out of the event, a whole heap of new knowledge and fun. It's just got to be fun. Everyone's got to have fun. From my perspective, it's all about coming along, getting to know new people, listening to the stories of the town and the people that built it, basically. And where it's being held is Piper's Opera House. To be truthful, a weekend's not enough. I think you could do a month, honestly, even more. Well, yeah, I have. I still haven't seen everything because I often, what prompted me was I'd often hear people say, especially in the paranormal world, oh, yeah, I've been to Virginia City, but, there's not much. You can only really spend a couple of days there. There's not much to see. And I'm like, I've spent a couple of months in total there and I still haven't seen everything. There's so much to see. Obviously, if you're wanting to hunt ghosts, I don't know. there's probably limited places you can do that truthfully within Virginia City, some well-known places like the Washoe and Mackie Mansion and all these other places. It's more that there's more to see, all the old mines, all the old buildings, and go further out a little bit, even leave Virginia City down to the Sutro. I mean, that is a magnificent thing when you go to see what it used to be like, and now it's been rescued, and they're really trying to get back to Virginia City through it, aren't they, Taylor? But I don't know. I just would hear people say that, and I fell in love with the town and the people. And so I thought, no, there's more to this. I want people to come to Virginia City and realize how beautiful it is, and what actually it's a gem, because there's not very many places like it. You walk into it and you automatically, well, I do, forget about the rest of the world. You sort of just come in and you're there, and everybody who lives there is different and quirky, and it's just a magnificent place. And I just want people to come there, realize that, fall in love with it, and enjoy the history of the place, because there's a lot of things we would not have in this modern world, to be truthful. You look at the history, if it weren't for that discovery of silver back in the day and the rich people that came out of it, because their inventions, Sutro being one of them, like there's a lot of stuff we just simply wouldn't have in this world today if it weren't for that discovery and Virginia City.
Absolutely.
Plus all the true crime stories that you can, I'm sure Janice will fill us in on a few of those. Super interesting.
That'd be amazing. I'm just going to go over to MaryLynn for a moment, because I know you're short of time. What's your favorite? I've got 2 questions for you. What's your favorite thing about Virginia City, and what are you most looking forward to with the weekend event coming up?
So my favorite thing is just going, when you, like Karen said, when you walk into the city, it's almost like going back in time. Everything is just the same. It's beautiful, and the people are just so friendly there. So just love the atmosphere. And what I'm looking forward to is just getting to know more of the history. And then also for me, because as a psychic, I go in not knowing the history. So my partner actually does the history on it, and I go in and see what I can pick up on the locations. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Oh, amazing. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Thank you. Well, what about you, Taylor? What are you looking for? What do you love most about your own city? What's your favorite thing that you love the most about your own city?
It is very hard to pick just one thing. Karen did a nice overview of some of the special parts of Virginia City, but it's just really is like no other place. And as Karen said, when you just come here, I used to be a tourist before I lived here, and I would come about 4 times a year because I loved it so much. And you really do feel the rest of the world kind of melt away. But at the same time, interestingly enough, I one of my favorite sayings is all roads lead to Virginia City. You give me a major moment or item of history, popular culture, what have you, we can trace it back to Virginia City in some fashion. So many things have springboarded from here, but yet when you come here, the rest of the world melts away. So it's a unique place. It's got its own kind of peace to it. I just feel at peace at home here. And just the fact that so many things are connected to Virginia City makes it endlessly fascinating. You're always learning something new. There's no one historian that knows it all. And we're still all learning from each other about this unique place.
Fantastic. Now, what about the weekend? What are you looking forward to most?
Seeing Karen again, of course. Karen's energy and enthusiasm for Virginia City is infectious, and we share it, and it's always just fun to be around her and have a big hug, Karen hug.
I've experienced that. It's amazing.
It's a real thing, and meeting people who are interested in Virginia City in all facets. So, I'm getting to talk about my favorite subject, which is Virginia City's history. And getting to share some of that knowledge and receive some of it from our experts.
Cool. Awesome. I'm reading one of the comments and someone's being a bit naughty.
Oh, all right.
I
Well,
think I spelt somebody's name wrong in Nightbot. Never mind. Okay, Enzo, have you been to Virginia City?
I have not, but I'm really looking forward to go there. It's the amount of history there and in such a small place is just immense, and I can't wait to hear all about it. And I myself can't wait to check out the mines and all that. I want to see that myself. Just the thought that so many people worked hard enough to dig all of that stuff out is amazing to me, and I just want to see how they did it. I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, wow. And what are you looking forward to about the weekend, like the actual event? I don't know. Is it? Keep calling it the event. Does it have a title?
what's that?
The event, does it have a title?
Yeah.
Referring to it as the event. What's the
The Magical History Weekend.
History Weekend? That will do. What are you looking
Until I invented that.
Well, of course, my favorite part for the weekend is, of course, to see Karen in person, meeting her for the first time in real life. That'll always be fun. But my favorite part about going to any kind of meetup like this or any kind of convention or anything like that is all the other people that show up that have that similar interest and getting to mill around and chat with all of them and see what they're up to and what they are there for. That's always my favorite part.
Oh, awesome. That is fantastic. If anybody has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I am watching the chat and I'm trying to acknowledge people, but sometimes it's a little bit difficult.
It is.
Yes, but anyway, never mind. Now, where am I going now? Where was I going next?
I don't know.
Okay, so Virginia City is, I guess, nominated, for want of a better word, as one of the most haunted places in the world. Now, most people would focus, if they were going to have a convention or a conference or an event like this, most people would focus on the paranormal. But you decided not to. Tell me more about it.
Yes, definitely I've decided not to during, even though, as I said before, I've got people from the paranormal field coming in, because it is the biggest, really it is, as Taylor pointed out, the biggest draw card for a lot of people. It's their main tourism attraction that people are going to come there and maybe see a ghost, you know. And it is, but I wanted, because I've gone there before, and Taylor's aware of how I feel about this, as is Enzo. You go there and you hear tales of the town that are simply not true, just really not true. And from a paranormal perspective, if one is going there to investigate, you want to know the truth. You want to know the facts around the building or around the people or what have you. And I had to dig. Personally, I had to dig and research, and thankfully Taylor's been helpful with me in that regard, because she's pointed me in the right direction, because that's what you do, really, isn't it, Taylor, a lot of the time, into the research. So I would research different stories on the town and go, oh my God, well, that didn't happen. Oh no, you know, and so wasted their whole time investigating such and such, asking for Mary Lou or whatever, and Mary Lou never existed. So I thought, righto. So what I wanted to make this one about, and a lot of the locals, some of them do get a bit sick of being asked with the ghosts. And I thought, you know what? Why not tell the history? Like, tell the history, the true history, and even tell people, which I try to do with my channel, the true history of some of these locations. And then from a paranormal perspective, I didn't want to put anything in about ghost hunting. But what I was getting when people were inquiring about it was, is there going to be ghost hunting? Is there going to be ghost hunting? And I'm like, no. And then I thought, I don't know. I said, leave it with me. And then Northern Nevada ghost hunters contacted me and said, oh, we can put something on for them for the 2 nights if you like. And I thought about it and I thought, look, I'm not going to do that. But obviously it's part of the event. I'm not going off to Donovan Mill. I've been to Donovan Mill and it's marvelous, and it's more worth seeing more in the daytime. It is it's amazing. They've restored an old mill, not a flour mill. They used to crush the ore to get the silver or gold out of the ore.
Yes.
So they've done that. So there'll be a ghost investigation. I've caved. There will be, but not. I kind of feel bad actually that I did that, but not really, because Northern Nevada Ghost Hunters have offered it, and I've put it there. And in some respects, it might even be to the point, because I am going to talk about the Donovan Mill on the weekend. It might even show people that, you know, sometimes things can be overrated. like I don't know. So yeah, but it's
controversial questions. What about ghost stories? Are you going to tell true ghost stories from Virginia City? Or is that part of it or not?
No, not really. It's not about ghost stories. However, probably when discussing certain places, it'll probably come up in the Q&A, like when we have the panel that evening, or it may well come up in one of the stories about, you know, one of the places. It might come up that, oh, you might hear the story of so-and-so. Well, this is the truth about that location and blah, blah, blah. So it'll be, I don't know, everybody will have a different tack, I guess, on when they give their presentations. But I'm more interested in focusing on, hey, whatever it is we decide to discuss. But in my instance, you know, Donovan Mill. I'll start on the Donovan Mill, when it was built, what was across the road from it, what they did there, what the history behind that building was, the people that worked there. I like to talk more about the people I know existed and worked there, or something to do with it, and what that mill might have contributed to the rest of, you know, the town, blah, blah, blah. And then if people want to ask, if I find out someone did pass away there for 100% certainty, then I may say so-and-so did pass away there, because there would have been many accidents at the mill, everything. When you go in there and actually look at it, it's amazing to me that there wasn't one a day. Like
days of health and safety.
Yeah, there's nothing covered with safety, anything. You're literally walking this far away from great big metal claws going boom, 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 bash, bash, bash. It's fascinating. So, no, it's not about ghost stories. It's about the history. But later on, that, you know, with the panel and everything, people may have questions. And so you can't really talk about Virginia City in some ways without cross-referencing so-called stories, because, I don't know, it's just how it is.
Absolutely, that's right. But I think I've run out of questions. Does anybody from I think, let me just make sure.
No, they're probably all tuned in to watch you, Heather.
That's probably it. I was expecting. I know I said to keep it brief, but I wasn't actually expecting it to be brief.
Well, Karen is on the panel, so
exactly. You never know what you're going to get.
I was happy to talk more, but I got told I talk too much. I don't talk too much, do I, Taylor?
We're going down that street, are we? We went there. We went there.
Well, I have a question for Karen. So were they had the newspaper where it was down in the basement? I don't know the name of the location, but they had the newspaper set up for back in the day.
Are you talking about the territorial? Yeah, I'll let Taylor tell you that one. She can actually tell you a quick story, because a lot of people think that he did work out of the current building that's there, the Territorial Enterprise building. A lot of people think he worked out of that, but I'll let you tell Taylor. You tell Taylor. You tell the story.
Oh, sure. What was your question, MaryLynn?
Just about the building, because Mark Twain is actually an ancestor of mine, a 6th great uncle. So that's why I was curious about it.
Great. Yes. Well, it'll be like a family homecoming then. Great. Yeah. Mark Twain first came to Virginia City. When he entered Virginia City, he was known as Sam Clemens, his birth name. We like to say that Mark Twain was born in Virginia City, meaning that was the first time he signed his name as Mark Twain in a professional capacity. He was not a writer per se until he moved to Virginia City, but then he got hired at the Territorial Enterprise newspaper, Nevada's oldest newspaper, and he learned all of his bad habits from his fellow editors here in Virginia City, how to drink with the best of them, and rabble rouse and write tall tales, and he even grew his signature mustache after a couple different figures had that mentored him during his time here. And within a couple of years, he had caused enough trouble that he was sort of kicked out of town and challenged to several different duels on one day. And he hightailed it off to San Francisco instead. And the world is better for it because he went on to write many great books after his time here. So yes, he did work in Virginia City. He did live in Virginia City. But the current Territorial Enterprise building that you see today, unfortunately, the offices that Mark Twain worked at burned in our Great Fire in 1875. So that is no longer there. So if you do go to the Territorial Enterprise today for a paranormal investigation, a lot of the times people will be trying to conjure Mark Twain, but he probably never stepped foot in that building. So there would be other places in town you'd go look for him, like maybe an old saloon or something like that. It does still exist from his time.
Yeah, I didn't know he was such a rebel, so thank you.
Yeah, well, he had to leave Virginia City because, as Taylor touched on politely, he wrote a story and well, people didn't like it. He got in a lot of trouble, and he thought, I better hightail it out of town before I get in more trouble. So he took off.
Oh, dear, I know people who got that in Adelaide.
I saw Tommy Allen Rains put up a thing there saying, also cover about the fake prostitute. I've got a sense, I think I know who he's talking about. She wasn't fake. She existed, and she was a prostitute, and it's a very touchy subject in Virginia City if you talk about Julia Bulett. Yeah, but she definitely was not fake. She existed, and she had a horrible ending to her life, and a magnificent funeral, which both actually Taylor and I have discussed sometimes, because there's a tale about her body being kept by the mortuary and an altar being made to her body, etc. But as Taylor pointed out to me, the newspaper clippings of the day distinctly discuss the funeral and the walking of her, and it discusses the burial, and so she wasn't stored anywhere. And also interestingly enough, I've discovered who did bury her, and it wasn't anybody on current C Street that buried her. She was actually buried by a different mortuary in B Street. He was in B Street. Wilson was his last name. So the mortuary that is in the famous cigar bar, they never had anything to do with Julia. So the story is that her bones were found, or something was found in the cellar there. But if anyone from Virginia City is watching, this is what I mean. It's a hot pot. People will go, no, it's true. But from the research I've done, she was definitely buried out of town and probably never stood foot in, well, she couldn't have actually, because the building around about the time it was built, she wouldn't have gone into that building even to say hello to anybody in the mortuary, I would assume. So yeah, it's just one of those stories. But she did exist, Tommy. She did.
Awesome. So tell me, is there an itinerary for the weekend?
I'm working on that now. Now that I've got, I had to wait until everybody confirmed, and I've got all the dates confirmed. So it'll be getting emailed out as people purchase their tickets. Yeah. But basically, it's jam-packed. People are going to have to try and get a nap in every now and then. But look, what's happening is the Friday, everybody can arrive, check in. There'll be dinner with everybody. As I say, I'm still working on the logistics of it all, but there'll be merchant tables set up on the Friday. So quite a few of the locals will be putting up their wares to sell, and MaryLynn and Mike and all of the other guests will also have a table set up. There'll be dinner that night, a talk. And then it wraps up by 9 o'clock. I'm wrapping up both nights at 9 o'clock because, now I intended to do that anyway because there was no ghost hunting. It was giving people that were there an opportunity if they had organised earlier. Oh, I've got mail. If they had have organised earlier, they could go on a ghost hunt or do whatever they like after 9 o'clock because that's the time that we finish. The Saturday is absolutely chockers. The morning will be the historical talks. So Taylor, myself, Janice, Taylor, myself and Janice. I think that's it. And then the afternoon, we're going to tour the Mackey Mansion, the Fourth Ward School. There'll be a break for lunch, obviously, and then that evening back to the Piper's Opera House for dinner and the panel and the talks by Dave and Dustin. And MaryLynn and Mike will be on the panel along with CJ. So there's a lot happening. And then the next day is coffee at my favourite coffee house, the Roasting House, and followed by a steam train ride. So we're going on the Virginia Truckee. How do I say it, Taylor? Virginia Truckee.
Yeah, you've got it. Virginia and Truckee Railroad.
Yeah. I spoke with Tom Taylor, so it's all sorted. It's
Great.
Definitely in. Yeah, Tom was very excited about it actually. So that's nice to see. Tom owns it, doesn't he? Owns the railway road.
Yes, and his dad started it. Yeah.
Yeah. So and there's a goodies bag, which is currently getting filled with lots of goodies. And, oh, gosh, I know there's other stuff I'm forgetting, but, yeah, so that's why there will be an itinerary. Otherwise, people will forget what they're doing. But it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun.
That's amazing. Now, I do believe tickets are selling fast. So you want to get your early bird special, which I think is the same price as the late bird special, but never mind.
There's no early bird special.
So what are the tickets? I do believe you've got 2 tiers, haven't you, of tickets?
Oh, there's really, if you want the full event, it's just what it is. It's the one. Oh, you got rid of Enzo again.
No, Enzo got rid of himself, and I was actually just about to ask Enzo if he's got anything to say because he's been so quiet.
Oh, Enzo, yeah.
Enzo. I'm sorry, Enzo.
He'll come back when he's ready. There's because there are locals that might be interested in listening to the historical talks. I did put in some tickets to some of the locals to come, but it's mainly about the VIPs. So if the locals do show up, they'll hear the historical talks from Taylor and Janice and myself. And yeah, the VIPs are the ones that come for dinner and get to do all the historical places, get the goodies bag, all that sort of thing. So,
the wonderful signed merch and all.
Yeah, that sort of thing. Everyone will sign the merch, won't you, MaryLynn? MaryLynn's going to offer up. I'm not sure on the logistics of it yet, but for anybody who is there, because it's the merch tables and stuff all set up, MaryLynn said she'd happily work out a way to offer people a bit of a, do you call it reading? What do you call it, MaryLynn? Yeah.
So I can do personal readings, and we could even talk about possibly a gallery reading where everybody gets together and I can read everybody.
That sounds fantastic. Really going down in Virginia City, aren't they?
Yeah, they are. But for me, it's focusing on the history. I really want people to listen. What happened, Enzo? You went away. But
I had a power outage of all things.
Wow. Oh dear. Anyway, Enzo, I'm going to throw it over to you. What would you like to say about the weekend? Because you've been very quiet, sitting there listening.
Well, that was because my cam was frozen. But mostly, I'm looking forward to, like I said earlier, meeting everybody because I do. There is something that's always maybe this is an American thing, but there's something alluring about hearing those classical Old West frontier days stories that just set your imagination on fire. To hear the actual stories and see the actual places yourself, just being immersed in it is incredible. So something like this, where it's a history of the whole place, is amazing, and I can't wait to dive into it.
Absolutely.
It's going to be fun.
Amazing. So as the eye candy, will you be going shirtless? Will you do a walk?
Well, I'm sure Virginia City has certain laws against such things. So you don't want to get run out of town like Mark Twain. So,
well, the other thing I wanted, that's why the ghost thing with Donovan Mill is there if people want to do it. They don't have to do it. So I'm assuming there'll be quite a few people who may not want to.
and if you
that's not,
you can hang out with me at the bar. We'll be
well, and that's what I was going to say. Friday,
with you at the bar anytime you like.
Friday night in Virginia City, generally, there's a karaoke night. So I want to go along to that, Taylor.
I am so missing out on everything. Oh,
yeah, I want to do the karaoke. So while people are off, should they want to, doing the Donovan Mill ghosty tour, as I say, it's just there because there were people asking, and I thought, oh God, all right, I'll add something in if I can. So it's just that. But there's so much to do in Virginia. And the Red Dog Saloon is a great place to hang out. They usually have, I haven't had a look, but they generally have live music. And it's going to be summer, isn't it? So it'll be too hot to sleep. So there'll be people having a good time. And, of course, if people just at 9 o'clock want to go back to their hotel room and go to sleep, they can do that too.
It might be good for some people to go on the investigation. Oh, damn.
What's that?
You never know. But it might be good for some people to do that so they can see that paranormal investigating is usually quite boring.
Oh, it's very boring.
Very boring. It's extremely boring. And unless you've got the patience for it, you can go all night and not get anything.
Look, it's normal, as most people know, and I discussed my dismay with Taylor. I have been to a few of the places around Virginia City, been there by myself, and nothing happens. Nothing has happened to me. Let's put it that way. I'm not saying nothing happens, but nothing's happened to me. And I would have assumed, me being there by myself, I'd be, what do you call it, like prime target for any ghosty or demon that wanted to attack me, but nobody. A bat a couple of times flew over my head at the Washoe. I don't know. So that was interesting, though. It's always fun to see a bat, except I've got to remember that bats in America carry rabies, so not to get too, oh, what a cute little bat.
Okay, yeah. So I just got to move over to Taylor. Adam from the Paranormal Polynesian Travel wants to know if there are RV hookups there.
Yes, we do have an RV park, and I think it's just called the Virginia City RV Park. But there's just one in town that you can easily find online. They've got a website and Facebook, and but I will say they do fill up fast, so get your reservation early if you're going to plan on coming with an RV.
Yeah.
Sorry, and I broke my own cardinal rule not to interrupt.
I don't have that rule. I just interrupt.
I know.
You just don't stop.
Love it. Okay, so how can people get in contact with you, Karen? How can people buy tickets?
The tickets, if on the posters there's a website called All Events, and you can just type in there, I guess, Doof Paranormal. I'm not really sure what to type in there. There is a link that's on most of the advertising on the posters. If you go to my YouTube channel, there'll be a community post where I've put up how to, but I'm continuing. I'll do that again today. I provided Heather with the link as well to the tickets. So I don't know if she's got that to pop in the chat. But
I have. I think I found all events. It says all events in Adelaide.
No, well,
Adelaide. I want.
It'll go to you locally, but you just type it in the search box, I would assume. Actually, we'll use Heather as the guinea pig. Type in magical mystery weekend or history weekend, whatever. What am I calling it, Taylor? But yeah, just type in something Virginia City and it might pop up. But that's not the way I would say to do it. Just go by
Nevada or
sorry,
Nevada, United States, or MT? What's MT?
Nevada, NV.
Oh yeah, there is a Virginia City, MT, Montana, but we're
Right,
Virginia
but that's
City,
not the
NV,
one.
Nevada.
Where all the boys from Bonanza used to come down to Virginia City at least once every second day.
Sure.
Oh my God, it wants me to sign in, and there's so many
Yeah,
pop-ups.
don't worry, Heather. Just find the link I sent you in the chat.
Okay, come on, see, I'm
You
going.
do that. I'll keep everyone entertained with tales of Bonanza. But I don't think they ever filmed in Virginia City. But Virginia City was certainly the focal point of the television show. That and Carson City, I believe. I think every now and then they mention Dayton, and I think even what was it? His name, Michael Landon's character, even had. I think he ran away with Julia Bulett for a short time.
Little Joe.
Little Joe, thank you. Yeah, little Joe fell in love with Julia Bulett and took off. But wouldn't that be nice if it were real and nothing ever bad happened to Julia? But I would prefer never to have heard the word or name of Julia Bulett if it meant that she lived to be a ripe old age. But never mind.
Absolutely.
Things happen.
Yes. So at the end,
there it is, guys. She's put the link up. But yeah, if you do go to my page, but it is all events. So yeah, that's the one. So you go there. That should be it. I hope so. Maybe someone can test it for me and in the chat, but it should take you right to it. But other than that, yeah, just keep an eye out.
QR code on the page. You got a QR code. Will that take you directly to?
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. So even if you have you got the QR code that you could share it on the screen?
I will be sharing on the screen. I shared on the screen when we first started, and I'll share it on the screen as we finish the live.
Yeah. So if anybody's got their handy dandy mobile cell phone, just click on that too. That should just take you automatically to the ticket page as well. So I'm hoping that people come along and enjoy it. Because I've planned a lot of good fun stuff. So I'll be staying in Virginia City for 3 weeks, Taylor.
Yay.
And I might even sleep on Taylor's couch with the doggies.
The doggy sounds wonderful.
I love the dogs. I don't suppose while we're here, Taylor, little Leica's around anywhere.
She was making a lot of noise, so I let her out. But let me see.
Oh, Leica.
So Mike and I plan on coming in a couple days early. We're going to be doing some filming there as well. So
excellent.
Yes.
Excellent. Leica. Oh, sorry, this is a silly moment for everybody. This is my favorite. I love Luke as well, her other dog. Oh, there's Leica. You can't quite see her. Come here, Leica. Come on. How dare she not want to talk to me? But she's been pulled up on the chair. Nah, she doesn't want a bar of it. You tried. Leica. Oh, her ears went up. She heard my voice. All right, that's enough of the trying to call her. Right. She heard me, didn't she?
She did.
She's probably like, huh? Where is she? Yeah, because I'm the only Australian that talks to her most of the time. Yeah, when I go there, I just get lots of love from Leica the doggy. She's beautiful. But yeah, so I'll be staying there for 3 weeks. So that's good, MaryLynn. I'll see you before it all starts as well. So that'll be good. And Enzo's getting there on, I think, Wednesday. I believe. Yeah, he's planning to get there. He's driving 10,000 miles to get there. But he's coming a long way. But you're coming a long way too. Oh, hang on. You're from Las Vegas, aren't you, MaryLynn?
No, I'm actually from Texas. So I'll be driving from Texas to Las Vegas, pick up Mike, and then head on. So it's a 17-hour drive for me to get to Mike for 6 hours.
Okay, Mary, do you have any social media?
I do. You can get me at Facebook, MaryLynn Bast.
B-I-S-T.
I'm also Art by MaryLynn because I'm also an artist. And then I also have some books published. Those are all on Amazon. Will
they be available to purchase during the weekend? We have some copies there. Yep. Awesome.
I will have those. Awesome. And then we also have PSYDkicks Paranormal.com.
Oh, excellent. PSYDkicks.paranormal.com, folks. Go check them out. Taylor, what about you? Do you have social media? Does your historical school thingy. I forget now. My
Fourth
apologies.
ward.
Have a social media if people want to check it out.
Yeah, the Historic Fourth Ward School Museum in Virginia City has a great YouTube channel where we tell true stories of Virginia City's history and Nevada history. We're about to unveil a new program on our YouTube where we're interviewing Virginia City locals and local legends about their lives and their oral history and their reminiscences about Virginia City in days past. So look for that. That's a great one to find, as well as the Sutro Tunnel is another great YouTube channel with lots of video on all different aspects of Virginia City history, Comstock history, and the Sutro Tunnel itself. And then I have a personal Instagram account called Virginia_City_history. So Virginia City history, where I talk about all different aspects of Virginia City as well.
Oh, fantastic.
See what I've got?
If you can, I'll try and get some of these links
Oh,
in
hang
the
on.
description as well.
My Sutro Tunnel nails.
Oh, fantastic.
I
Yeah,
recognize those. Yeah, I shipped those out to you.
you did.
And Enzo, do you have any social media?
I'm on Twitter, or now X, Enzo_Cyril.
Mhm.
You may find various science-related kind of things from me, or
Oh.
I don't tweet that much, to be honest. But
No,
Oh, that-
and he's
I-
on many, sorry, he's on a lot of different. Oh, sorry.
I don't have my own YouTube channel, but I'm certainly on a lot of other people's YouTube channels. Basically, I just mooch off of my friends is what I'd end up doing. Is,
He's online every Friday. We try every Friday, don't we? Friday night in America, Saturday morning
Yep.
in
Friday
Australia.
night in America at 8 p.m. Eastern time, around that time.
Around that time, depends if I'm late or not, or forget that I'm actually on at that time. And
That
I've
has
said
happened.
that has happened.
Anyway, if you could do me a favor and just find some of those links, I can put them in the description.
Oh, yeah.
For MaryLynn and Taylor and Enzo. And I want to thank you all for coming and talking. Oh, there's a private chat and I've missed it.
Is there?
Oh, there's the links. Yay, thank you. I'll have to copy and paste them before I go. There's some links.
Can you do that? Hang on.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Taylor,
want to put them in content on the comments, but they wouldn't let it go in, so I put it in private.
Paste.
Yeah.
I can do it.
yeah, I had problems putting.
Oh, no. It won't let me either.
Just put
You
in
can
the private chat.
just copy and paste. Just go to the private chat. You can do it. I can't copy and paste because I'm not you. But if you go to private chat, you can copy and paste both of those and they'll go in. Who's Toby Keith?
He was a
I've never heard of.
country singer.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Hello. Anyway, chat, I want to thank you all for joining us. It's been a pleasure having you. And
All the links, Taylor's put the links for Fourth Ward School in there as well.
I will put all the links
So
in
you'll
the
be able to cut and paste
the
those.
live stream finishes, and you can come back and check them out. Oh, here we
Okay,
go.
and the Central Panel. Thank you, Taylor. Thank you.
Thank you.
And okay, and I'll paste it onto my, because once this finishes, I won't have access to the private chat, I don't think. So I've got to do that now. Anyway, I hope you all have an amazing time. I hope everyone has an amazing day. I'm going to get some a little bit of a nap in before I go to work if I can. I think I'm a bit too hyped up. Remember, everyone, keep smiling and make the world wonder what you've been up to. And it's bye from me. And if everyone would like to say hooroo.
See you later, everybody.
Bye, y'all.
City. Bye. Thank you.